Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to a sip of tea. How about that? Yes, I'm Clarice Warner, your girl with the pearls, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let me ask you something. What if I told you that the work you're doing right now, yes, right now as a medical coder, is actually health informatics work? Hmm. And what if I told you that you've been underselling yourself, under positioning yourself, and probably undercompensated for the strategic value you bring every single day? And what if I told you that there's a 40% explosion happening right now in health informatics job postings? And you're already qualified for many of these roles. You just need to know how to talk about what you do differently. Now, I know some of you are just perked up, and some of you are thinking, well, Clarice, I don't know anything about informatics. I'm just a coder. Well, baby, let me stop you right there. In the next 15 minutes, because it's just a sip of tea, I'm going to show you that it could all be so simple. You don't need to go back to school for 4 years. You don't need to become an IT expert. You just need to recognize the work you're already doing and position yourself for where healthcare is going, not where it's been. So grab your tea and let's talk about your future. Now, before we get into the good stuff, let me tell you what sparked this conversation. I was reading the July 2025 issue of AHIMA's journal, and there's an article called Health Informatics in Health Information Management, a Growing Opportunity by Trayana Whiting. And honey, when I tell you this article confirmed everything, yes, everything. I've been talking or teaching you all about staying ahead of the curve. I mean, everything. But here's what really got me. The article talks about how many HI professionals, again, that's us, health information professionals, are already involved in informatics without even labeling it as such. Let me say that again. You are already doing the work. You're just not calling it the right thing. And you're definitely not getting paid for it the way you should be. The article mentions reviewing documentation templates, analyzing trends in Power BI or Tableau, working with coding systems like ICD-10 and SNOMED CT, ensuring smooth data exchange through health information exchanges, and get this, working with something called FHIR and HL7. Now, I heard some of you just glaze over. I get it. Clarice, what in the world is FHIR and what is HL7? That sounds like a lot of alphabet soup to me, and rightfully so. But let me break it down for you, because once you understand this, everything else falls into place. Okay, let's make this simple. HL7 is Health Level 7, and it is the organization that creates standards to help healthcare systems talk to each other. They've been doing this for decades. Think of HL7 as the governing body that says how health care data should be exchanged. And then FHIR, that's FHIR, is Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources, is the newest, most modern standard. Here's the easiest way to understand FHIR. You know how you can plug your iPhone into any car, any speaker, any computer, and it just works? Well, that's because there's a universal standard. For the longest time in healthcare, we didn't have that. Every hospital system, every EHR, every insurance company had their own way of storing data. It was chaos. But FHIR is the universal connector for healthcare data. And here's where you come in. All those beautiful codes you assign, your ICD-10 diagnosis codes, your CPT procedure codes, they need to travel through healthcare systems, right? They go from the EHR to billing to insurance to quality reporting. FHIR is the delivery system that carries your coded data where it needs to go. But here's the key. FHIR doesn't make coding decisions. FHIR doesn't know if you picked the right code. FHIR doesn't understand clinical context. You do. That's why you're not being replaced, you're being elevated. Now, why does this matter right now? You know, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks because in 2020, CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, issued a mandate that said healthcare payers must use FHIR-based systems to share patient data. That rule went into effect July 1st, 2021. What that means is every major healthcare organization is building systems around FHIR, and our current administration is pushing for this interoperability, again, all around making sure that the systems talk to each other in healthcare. They're hiring people who understand it. They're looking for professionals who can bridge clinical data, your codes, and technology systems. And guess what? You're already standing on that bridge. Yes. So let's get back to this article because the timing is perfect. According to Lightcast, which is a labor market analytics company, job postings mentioning health informatics skills have risen 40% in the last year. 40%. That's not a trend, that's a tidal wave. New roles are popping up everywhere. EHR analyst, digital health data coordinator, informatics project specialist, health data quality analyst. Now, let me ask you, how many of you have looked at documentation templates and said, this doesn't make sense? We need to change this. That's EHR analysis. How many of you have pulled reports to look at coding patterns or denials trends? That's data analytics. How many of you troubleshoot when codes aren't flowing correctly between systems? That's digital health data coordination. You see what I'm saying? You're already doing informatics work. The article even says it. Many HI professionals are already involved in informatics without necessarily labeling it as such. And that's a direct quote. And here's the beautiful part. AHIMA sees where this is going. They're launching a new health informatics microcredential this fall. They're bringing back the Certified Professional in Health Informatics, or the CPHI credential, sometime in early 2026. They're not doing this because it's trending. They're doing this because the market is demanding it. And the coders who add informatics knowledge to their skill set are going to be the ones leading teams, making strategic decisions, and yes, making that bag, making more money. Now, because these informatics roles, well, what about them? They pay better. They offer more remote work. You know, 65% of our professionals already work remotely. They give you a seat at the strategic table instead of being seen as transactional support. Well, it can all be so simple to make this pivot, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Here's my first big point. You're already an informaticist. You just don't know it yet. This week, did you review a documentation template and suggest improvements? Analyze coding data to identify patterns. Troubleshoot EHR issues. Train someone on proper documentation. Pull denial trend reports. If you did any of those things, that's informatics work. The gap isn't in what you're doing. The gap is in how you're talking about it. When you update your resume, are you saying assign ICD-10 codes, or are you saying ensure data quality and integrity by analyzing documentation patterns and optimizing EHR workflows to support accurate code assignment? You see the difference? Same work, different value proposition. The article says informatics blends clinical knowledge, technology, and data use to improve care delivery. When you improve documentation, you're improving care. When you analyze trends, you're supporting measurement. When you work with systems, you're using technology. You're checking all the boxes. Again, it could all be so simple if we just called it what it is. Here's point number 2. FHIR isn't replacing you, it's amplifying your value. And I know, and we've talked about it, there's a fear about AI and automation. Well, what if computers do all the coding? Well, let me tell you, FHIR is a transport system. AI is a suggestion engine. Neither has clinical judgment. Neither understands regulatory nuance. Neither can look at a complex case and say, this doesn't make sense clinically. But guess who can? You. The article confirms AI tools are speeding up coding, but they cannot completely replace humans. Why? Because healthcare is contextual, not just transactional. FHIR needs your accurately coded data to transport. AI needs your validation to avoid costly mistakes. And quality reporting needs your expertise to ensure data tells the true story. Technology is taking over the simple stuff so you can focus on the strategic stuff. Let the computer suggest obvious codes. You're going to validate complex cases, ensure compliance, catch what AI misses, train systems, and improve workflows. That's not a demotion, that's a promotion. When you understand FHIR and can speak about how your coded data flows through systems, you become indispensable. You're not just a coder, you're a data strategist with deep coding expertise. The third point, that 40% job growth signal, follow the money. When job postings for a skill set jump 40% in 1 year, that's where healthcare dollars are flowing. Think about it. CMS mandated the FHIR-based systems in 2021. Major tech companies, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon, Google, they all committed to FHIR in 2018. AHIMA is investing in new informatics microcredentials. Healthcare systems are hiring at higher salaries. The writing is in neon lights. Forget the wall, it's in the sky. Are you going to wait until your employer tells you to learn this? Or are you going to position yourself as the solution before they realize they need it? The coders who pivot early, who get these credentials, who speak the language of informatics, we all know the story. They get promoted. They get strategic roles. They become indispensable. The coders who wait, they stay stuck, wondering why they're not advancing. Again, the opportunity is right there. It could all be so simple. You just have to decide you're worth the investment. Let me ask you 3 questions, and I want you to really think about these. Question number 1, what parts of your current role already involve data analysis, system optimization, or workflow improvement? And are you getting credit and compensation for that work? Take a second, because if you're doing the work without recognition, we need to change that conversation. Question number 2, if AI-assisted coding continues to advance, how will you differentiate your value? Through speed or through strategic data expertise? Speed is a race to the bottom. Expertise builds careers. Question number 3, if AHIMA is investing in new informatics credentials and tech giants are prioritizing FHIR standards, what does that tell you about where your career should be headed? These aren't rhetorical questions, people. These not. These separate coders who thrive from coders who just survive. These separate coders who thrive from coders who just survive. All right. You're convinced yet? But what do you actually do? I'm giving you 3 pivots, 3 strategic shifts, and for each one, 2 actionable steps you can start this week. Because again, it can all be so simple when we break it into manageable pieces. Organizations need people who can look at the big picture and say, here's why our data quality is suffering, and here's how we fix it. Action step number 1, this week, create a wins log. Every time you identify a documentation gap, suggest a template improvement, or prevent a compliance problem, write it down. At month end, Update your resume with this data quality language. Action step 2, request access to your organization's dashboard tools, the Power BI, the Tableau, whatever they use. Spend 30 minutes weekly exploring the trends. Screenshot interesting findings and share with your supervisor. Show some initiative. Pivot number 2, from transactional coder to interoperability savvy professional. This is about understanding FHIR and HL7 enough to speak intelligently about how your work fits the bigger system. Action step number 1, take a free FHIR fundamentals course, 30 to 60 minutes. You can go to FHIR.org or HL7, I think it's .org as well, and their learning platform. I know HL7 has a lot of things on its website regarding their training. There's some free stuff, some low-cost things as well. Focus on how your coded data travels through FHIR resources. ICD-10 goes in condition resources. CPT goes in procedure resources. Simple. Action step 2, schedule 15 minutes with your HIM director or IT contact. Learn which health information exchanges your organization participates in. Ask one smart question about data quality challenges. You'll be amazed at the respect you get. Pivot number 3, from credential holder to continuously credentialed strategist. Say it, girl, strategist. Your current certifications are valuable, but strategic credentialing shows you're forward thinking. Action step 1, when AHIMA's Health Informatics Microcredential launches this fall, visit their website and review the competency domains. Identify what you know and what you need to learn, and budget for it now. Action step number 2, create a 12-month credentialing roadmap. The Microcredential Fall 2025 to the CPHI exam prep winter 2025-26 to the CPHI certification in 2026. Share this plan with your supervisor during your next review. Most employers support professionals who show this initiative. And if you want to dive deeper, the AHIMA 25 conference that I'm sitting in is quickly wrapping up on a Health Informatics Foundation course. They're going to debut it here on October 12th, which is just a couple of days from now. But look forward after the conference. I'm sure they will provide some additional information on it, and don't miss that opportunity when they share that. Now, let me be real with you. This isn't about abandoning what you know. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. This isn't about doing more work. This is about recognizing the full value of what you already do and positioning yourself to thrive in healthcare's digital transformation. Healthcare is moving deeper into the digital world. The article confirms it. The job market confirms it. CMS regulations confirm it. The professionals who manage, protect, and interpret health data are more crucial than ever. That's not IT people. That's us. More informatics roles offer better work-life balance, they're remote friendly, and they pay more. They give you strategic influence, but you have to see yourself differently. You have to call your work what it really is. You have to invest in credentials that prove what you know. Because again, it could all be so simple if we just decided to do it. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pick one pivot and one action step, just one, and do it this week. Momentum builds on small wins. Update your LinkedIn or resume with one piece of informatics language. Change assigned codes to ensure data quality through accurate code assignment and system optimization. Check out the reference section in the description below and read that July 2025 article. Read it with fresh eyes now that you understand FHIR, and share this episode with a colleague who needs to hear it. Again, we rise by lifting each other up. You are more than a code assigner. You are a data quality strategist. You are an informatics professional. You are essential to healthcare's future. but you have to see it in yourself before anyone else will. The informatics revolution is already here, and you're already part of it. Now position yourself to benefit from it. The roadmap is clear, the credentials are available, the jobs are there. Are you ready to step into who you're meant to be? This is Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, reminding you that excellence is not an accident, it's a choice. And Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, is here to support you every step of the way. So join our community at the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC. We provide ongoing education, compliance updates, and practical strategies for navigating this complex environment of healthcare revenue cycle. And you don't have to figure this out alone. So, are you thirsty for fresh perspectives in the healthcare revenue cycle? Are you? Probably. By becoming one of the PRN T-sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. So why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge together? Come, let's spill the tea on industry insights. Here's what you can expect as a valued member of the T-sippers. Exclusive healthcare insights. Gain access to in-depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access. Be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever-evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support. Enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, revenue cycle management, and now informatics. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my personal favorite, the community connection. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. By supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So thank you in advance for considering becoming a member of the T-Sippers. And for as little as $1 per month, you can join the community. So check out the link in the description of the video, or you can also check out the QR code here on the screen. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Yes. So tune in. Let's remove that. Yes. Tune in next week as we will be discussing another hot healthcare informational topic that you won't want to miss. Again, this is Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, reminding you to stay educated and stay elevated. And that in healthcare, knowledge isn't power, it's protection. Remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time. Take care. Have a great weekend.